But yet, when we look at why organizations or individuals struggle with risk, it's because we're not very good at detecting, assessing, responding, and learning to the threats that come at us. And if you only think of the things that actually get to you, not the things that are over the horizon and might come, but the things that actually arrive, if we put ourselves in a position where we're able to do those 4 steps, assess those things, detect them, assess them, then respond effectively and learn from it, we get better every time. Suddenly we put in place resilience that we just won't have otherwise. And so when we talk about the greatest risk to us is us, it's when we neglect that risk immune system.
What about the 10 factors of control, which is now kind of how do you actually break this down once you've gone through the 4 functions? And you've called them a set of dials that we can adjust or calibrate to improve the operation of the risk immune system. And I'll list them and then we can get into a couple of them. But narrative, structure, technology, diversity, bias, action, timing, adaptability, leadership, and communication. So first I'll ask, why these 10? And can you talk maybe about the interrelated nature of them?
Absolutely. As we tried to decide what are the things that an organization, and we thought mostly about organizations, have to be able to do effectively, we came up with 10. We could have had 12, could have had 8 by putting some together, but we wanted to make it clear for people. So for example, we talk about communication. Any organization that doesn't communicate internally is dead in the water. If we want to defeat an enemy army, the first thing we do is cut their communications. Then they can't collaborate, coordinate, and they're done. But some are more subtle, like a narrative. You know, narratives are what we say about ourselves and what we think about ourselves. In the book, we talk about when a narrative isn't effective for an organization. In 1957, then Vice President Nixon goes to Ghana for Independence Day. And he is walking around just sort of making conversation with people, and he goes to a black man and he says, "So how does it feel to be free?" And the man looks and says, "I wouldn't know. I'm from Alabama." And it was an extraordinary moment because if you think about America's narrative has been about freedom, equality, liberty, all the things that we believe in. And yet that reality wasn't true for many Americans, still isn't completely true. And so what we uncover is when we have a gap between what we say our narrative is and what it actually is in practice, then we have a real problem because the say-do gap can create cynicism and problems. So the importance of knowing who we are, what we're about, and why we do it. So each of these 10 factors forms into a system. You don't have to be, it's like the principles of war. You don't have to max all of them perfectly in your plan, but any you violate, if you don't have security, if you don't do something, you better know it and you better have a good reason why you don't, because you've got a gaping hole of vulnerability.